This movie is 2 decades old. Fuck. Hey, Internet Buds, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm Ray, and today we're going to be looking at Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So Episode 1 is the first of the prequels. It starts to tell the story of Anakin's fall to the dark side and how he becomes Darth Vader. And I thought with the Rise of Skywalker coming out in a few days, what better way to try to show my love for the franchise than to review a movie a day leading up to the release of Rise of Skywalker. It's Rise of Skywalker, right? Not Rise of a Skywalker. It's Rise of Skywalker. I'll figure it out. Hopefully by the time I actually do that review. So while I have you at the beginning of the video, definitely go down and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all the videos that I do put out. And my question this time is, which lightsaber color would you like to have? Now, I'm not saying if you choose red, you have to be a Sith, or if you choose blue, you have to be a Jedi. I personally would probably prefer red or blue. I got this lightsaber here. I actually have the super deluxe one over there. I'll probably whip that out during one of the other reviews. But yeah, I would probably go red or blue. And like I said, that doesn't make me a Sith or a Jedi. I'd be a dark Jedi, because apparently the Jedi can't love. And I'll be damned if some group of space monks is gonna tell me I can't love my dog. So let me try to explain the synopsis super condensed like. Obi-Wan and his master must protect a queen on the run while winning pod races and discovering the chosen one to bring balance to the Force. I guess that's a pretty accurate description, right? So I thought episode 2 was boring, but my god, I was so bored watching this movie up until about the point where we meet Anakin. And then it gets kind of interesting. But I forgot how boring this movie is for the majority of the beginning. I find almost every scene involving the Trade Federation almost unwatchable because of how racistly, is that a word? How racistly they portray the Viceroy and his species, where they're just super stereotypical, like Asian, and I just don't understand why they made that choice. I will say, points for making the makeup and the animatronics of the face of those characters real. It's a practical effect, it looks like. But minus points for the fact that they can't seem to sync up any of the dialogue to the mouths moving in those masks. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon can force sprint. Minus points. I'll come back to this later. Some of the visual effects have held up surprisingly well over the past 2 decades, and the majority of the movie has not held up and looks very dated, and just further emphasizes the need for practical effects in these kinds of movies, which I'm glad we're getting back to. Now, I'm not going to harp on Jar Jar. He's gotten enough crap over the years. But what I will say is, everything involving the Gungans could just be taken out of this movie and nothing would be lost. Like, at all. The whole point of the Gungans in this movie is because we need the Gungans for the final battle, and we didn't need a giant final battle. We could have just had, like, the Jedi infiltrate the, what is it, Thebes? Infiltrate that city in like a covert op type of thing with the remaining Naboo forces. There's just no need for the Gungans in this movie. The cast, for the most part, does a really good job. I think Liam Neeson gives a great effort, along with Ian McGregor, who, after looking back, I'm just going to call him Baby Gregor for the rest of the review. And whenever I watch the movie, from this point further. Because he's like a little baby in this movie. So young. One of the things I do really like about Baby Gregor is the fact that you can genuinely tell that he's really excited to be in a Star Wars movie, and that he's playing the iconic character of Obi-Wan as he's kind of growing into his own. Baby Gregor, absolutely one of the shining points of the entire prequel trilogy. Natalie Portman, I thought, gave a good effort in the movie, but I don't think she was particularly good, necessarily. Although I don't really think she had much to work with. Ray Park as Darth Maul, absolutely fantastic. You can't go wrong there. He's clearly one of everyone's favorite parts of this movie. And anytime we get General Zod in a movie, I'm all for it. And then we come to Jake Lloyd. Look, I'm not gonna harp on the guy. He was a kid when this movie was made. He did his best, okay? I think it's ridiculous that everyone dogpiled on him. I might have, I don't remember, but I'm sorry if I did. No one deserves to be treated like that just because they're in a Star Wars movie. And unfortunately, people are still being treated like that, which is ridiculous. I think this is the only part where I'm going to bring up the script and the directing, because everyone always harps on that. But I think Jake Lloyd's performance was just a circumstance of that. The pod racing was a lot of fun to watch. I really like that. I forgot how good it is, so plus points. And, you know, maybe in a certain later movie on a certain casino planet, instead of having dumb little space horses, they should have had Force-sensitive children pod racing where the people could bet on them. I don't know. I think maybe that would have been a cool way to tie some stuff together. But that's just me. I'm just a fan, and I don't know anything. There's also a lot of bad ADR in this movie. Like, really bad. If you don't know what ADR is, it's where the actors go into booths and they re-record some of their lines so that they can put the recorded lines over their performances with the video because, you know, maybe something happened or they wanted to get a better take of the line. But it's really bad in this movie. There's a lot of it. A lot of it doesn't match. There's even a scene where Padme comes forth at the Gungan Naboo meeting at the end where she's like, hey, we need your help, blah, blah, blah. And they add extra words to her performance that weren't there. On the opposite side of the audio, John Williams' score is phenomenal. We got Duel of Fates. We got a lot of great new music to add to the Star Wars discography. So good. Major plus points. There's also a lot of things in this movie that really just don't make sense at all. And, you know, an example of that would be Anakin's autopilot in the Naboo starfighter taking him to this movie's Death Stars for some reason. I don't know. Why is that the autopilot feature? Was the autopilot set up to follow all the other ships? Or maybe just to go to this one specific point in the orbit of the planet and it just so happens there's a Death Star there? I don't know. Doesn't make sense. There's a few things like that. The fight between the Jedi and Darth Maul, really cool. I really liked it. It's as great as I remember it. As we all know, it's one of the standouts of the film, along with Duel of Fates, the score. Fantastic. I brought it up earlier with the Force sprinting. Here's where it comes into play. If they can Force sprint, how did Obi-Wan get separated from Maul and Qui-Gon? Now, I understand that people are coming off of watching the original trilogy when they go to see this movie. But why so heavy-handedly spoil the fact that Palpatine's the Sith Master? Like, I understand, again, if you're coming from those original trilogies, you understand that Palpatine's evil. But if you're going into the whole series fresh, and you're just decided to start with episode 1, maybe you want to watch them in the order of the story, I don't know. But why spoil that for people? It's just weird that they decided to do that. Honestly, I would kind of like to see someone's reaction, having no knowledge of Star Wars, going from episode 1, 2, 3, finding out Palpatine's going to become an emperor, and then going into 4, 5, 6, and just seeing how they feel about his rise to power and then fall. That'd be pretty cool. There's also a few strange choices as far as editing, whether that be just the way scenes end or how they transition into each other. Some dialogue spacing I thought was a little weird. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, because I was watching the Blu-rays, I don't know what year these were released, but these are the ones where they replaced Puppet Yoda with CG Yoda. And let's be clear on the hierarchy. It goes CG Yoda over here? I'm going to try to get that. Anyway, CG Yoda goes here. Then better than that is Puppet Yoda. And even better than that is Baby Yoda. Ultimately, I just think this is a case of George Lucas's metaphorical eyes being bigger than his tummy, with everything he wanted to do with this film. I loved the film when I was a young 7-year-old lad, but boy was that little turd naive as to what was a good movie. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, gets a 5 out of 10. I always thought that this was better than Attack of the Clones, but after rewatching it, I don't know how that's possible. So that's my review for Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I enjoyed rewatching it. I was just bored for a lot of it. So as always, thanks for watching my review. Guys, it means a great deal to continue to watch the content that I do put out. Like I said at the beginning, I'm going to try and get a review up every day leading up to Episode 9. So what that's going to include is Episode 1, hello. Episode 2, the Clone Wars animated series. Now, I'm not talking the CG one, I'm talking the one from 2003. Yeah, I'm going to do that one because I got those DVDs floating around. Episode 3, Episode 4, Episode 5, Episode 6. Episode 7, I'm not doing Rogue One, I'm not doing Episode 8, and I'm not doing Solo. Because I already have reviews for those up on the channel, but maybe I'll add them all to a playlist. But I am going to rewatch them, except for Solo. Because there's no reason to watch the Solo movie when you're just trying to rewatch the entire Star Wars saga. You know what I mean? Like, at least Rogue One tied into A New Hope really well. But also, like I said at the beginning of the review, definitely go down and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all the videos that I do put out. Give the video a like, share it with a movie-loving friend, and let me know what color lightsaber you want. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya.